Hey guys, this is Catherine again from F&P Wargamers, and I thought I'd show you a little painting tutorial on this flesh for the Skaven Death Runner that I did. This is from the Silver Tower box set as well. I'm trying to see if I can get a good angle here, but you can see the skin tone sort of pinkish, and down here is a darker pink, and then it moves up into sort of a lighter flesh shade. So I just thought I'd show you how I did that. So to start, I got my wet palette out, and the three colors I'm primarily going to be using, this here on the left is Kislev Flesh, this in the middle is Bugman's Glow, and on the far right is Corn Red. So all of the flesh tones are sort of combinations of those three colors, and I have white and black at the bottom because I always do that for blending purposes. Alright, so I'm just going to start by painting all of the open flesh with this Kislev Flesh color, and then I'll blend down and I'll show you how I do that in a minute. But let me get this painted for you. Alright, so now that I've got a relatively even coat on his skin of the Kislev Flesh, but not the tail. I'm going to save the tail for later because I did that a little differently. But now what I'm going to do is take a little of the Bugman's Glow and mix it with some of the Kislev Flesh till I have sort of just a slightly pinker version of Kislev Flesh. And then I'm going to go into the parts that would be, sort of shadowed and use a very thin coat of this just in the recesses. So like up here where his knee would be in shadow, near the armor pieces generally speaking. I don't know if you can see that, but it'll make more sense when I have it finished. So I don't know if you can tell the difference. This lighting is not necessarily the best, but there are patches of flesh where it's a little bit darker than the rest, so like here at the rib cage, and that is a mixture of the Bugman's Glow and the Kislev Flesh. Same over here, sort of up near where the armor is next to the skin. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually look at the scars. So you can't see it as well on this model, but they have some scar markings on them. So I actually made the inside of those black. So I'm just using a Nuln Oil wash. Although you could also use this Carroburg Crimson. But I'll do a Nuln Oil and then a Carroburg Crimson, so it ends up sort of a blackish red, so they looked a little infected. So as you can see here, I've washed those areas with first Nuln Oil and then second the Carroburg Crimson. So the scars look very red, deep, which is what I'm looking for. And so then I'm going to wash the entire model with Carroburg Crimson just in the recesses. Careful to wipe up any of the excess. But what this does is it gives the whole model more of a pinkish skin tone, which I feel fits with a rat race fairly well. Alright, so now I've washed with Carroburg Crimson, and you can see in the recesses it just picks up that reddish color, which makes the whole model look a little more pink. So now I'm just going to go over, touch up the areas with Kislev Flesh, and then even on the highest parts, touch up with a bit of Kislev Flesh mixed with white, so it sort of brings out everything. But that would really be like a dry brush. So now that I've put highlights on some of those areas, you can see some of them, it makes them pop, really. So the high areas are going to be sort of the bright white Kislev Flesh color. So now what I'm going to do is, you can see, it's a little hard to see in this video, but there are little boils in certain areas, little raised welts. So I'm going to actually make those corn red so they really pop, and then highlight them with Bugman's Glow and a little bit of a lighter pinkish color. Okay, so now that I've got the main body sorted out, I'm going to paint the tail. So what I did with the tail is I painted a blended base coat. So I start at the bottom with Corn Red, and then I move up blending through Bugman's Glow, and then up through Kislev Flesh, and sort of a whitish color at the very tip. Okay, now that I've got the tail base coated, I'm gonna do a wash. So I'm gonna wash with Carroburg Crimson up along here. And then at the very end, I'm gonna actually wash with Raycline Flesh Shade. Okay, now that the wash on the tail is dried, I'm gonna do some edge highlighting. So I'm gonna highlight the darkest areas with Bugman's Glow, and then sort of moving up, I'll highlight these areas with Kislev Flesh, and then at the very top, I'll be highlighting those areas with sort of a white mixed with the Kislev Flesh, somewhere in between the two colors. And as far as edge highlighting goes, if you haven't done it before, you just get paint on the paintbrush, but make the paintbrush as dry as you can. And then you sort of go
Fill my games. Hey, Karen.
so it's kind of hard to orient, but I'm just rubbing my paintbrush along the ridges so it just picks up the very the most raised area.
Oh boy. You're gonna
Okay, so now that I've finished dry brushing the lighter colors on the tail, this is what his skin looks like. So yeah. There we go.
Idiot. I should have yelled. Hey, I got a plan. Sorry.
It's recording.
Oh, it's recording?
Yeah.
Never mind.
No, you should enact your plan right now.
Apple doesn't, I don't run an Apple.
Hey, can you show me Pokemon
This
Go?
is the...
Anyway, so I have
Yeah, I will.
dry brushed the lighter colors on the tail. No, no,
Trolling.
no. Ignore this. Ignore me.
I caught a Pikachu.
Wow, FNP Wargamers rocks! That's Pokemon!
I love how you go,
might wanna
ignore
reshoot
this,
that one.
ignore me.
You might want to reshoot that one.
Ignore everyone, basically. Oh no. Oops, I turned. No, don't do